All right. I know there's advertisements. Do people have advertisements? No? No, right? Everyone's good. Okay. All right. So, let's see if you can see people's... What? How's it look on your screen? Yeah? Can you see John? Say hi, John.
Hello.
And then I have my teenage son in the background too. Ignore him. He's playing the battlefields. Alright. And then there's music, right? I'm assuming that there's music. I want music. I want it to be a oh, that's too loud. Huh? Is it good?
Yeah.
Whoa. Alright, I'm just adjusting the... You can see me, like I'm literally going over here and adjusting the audio as we speak. I haven't found the right mix yet. I do a couple more of these, I'll figure it all out. Okay. So... What have I just done? Okay. Alright. Okay. I think we're ready. Hello everybody. I'm Anthony Jones. You guys may already know since you guys either follow me on Tumblr or Facebook or various other things. I'm going to be talking today about how to promote your work. I'm going to be doing a little demonstration, a little topical conversation with my friend here too, and see what he thinks about life. and then we'll get to questions. So he's going to be kind of in and out too, because he's literally writing down all your guys' questions as you speak. As you guys write the questions, and as some of you may have noticed, there's a format to the questions, right? You have to write question, and then colon, and then whatever your question is. That just makes it easier for John to be able to find your question and then answer it. So, and it makes my life a little easier too. So before we do that, let me do some housekeeping real fast. All right, uploading some stuff. Some goodies. So, anyway, let's open up Photoshop. Let's get this party going. First of all, do you guys have the new CC 2014? I just got it yesterday. I didn't even realize that it was out, and I was like, "What? Photoshop has a new update?" And so I got it, and I think it's because someone emailed me and they're like, "Hey, you know, your panel stuff is not working." And I was like, "I should work with the latest CC." They're like, "Well, I got like the latest CC," and I was like, "Latest? What does that mean?" And I realized that's how they're kind of packaging it now. They're doing it by years, so it's kind of like, oh, I lost internet connection.
Yeah, you're lagging.
Oh no. There you go. I think it's good now.
Looks fine.
Oh boy. I think it's because I'm trying to upload this thing at the same time. It's a nightmare. When I try to do more than one thing anytime I try to do more than one thing on my computer's like, hell no. And so I need to be very cautious of the things that I have on. And I actually even have my task manager up so I can pay attention to what's going on. And so he's going to let me know if like it goes down, and he's going to let me know that kind of stuff. And in the meanwhile, I wanted to kind of upload this thing, but it looks like I'm just going to might have to kill it so that way we have a seamless stream. It's just the internet here isn't the best. First world problems.
First world problem.
Alright, I'm just gonna cancel that and see what happens. It's only at 2% anyway. No, it's still lagging. Remove delay player. I don't know. Is it lagging on yours?
No, it's fine.
It looks fine?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me. I'm just like paranoid. So anyway, before we get into the topic, I just want to show you guys some cool stuff with CC real fast before I get started. So one thing is they have this awesome. They finally heard people's cries, because I know a lot of people use this little color picker cube. You know, they go here and it opens, but the problem is you have to always go there. But now you can actually have it free floating, which is great, and it's pretty awesome. And you can do all kinds of great stuff, all kinds of cool painting stuff. Yeah, the future. So here's another thing. You can actually switch it to the brightness cube. So if you give the color, it actually shifts the hue, and you can get the brightness of that hue. Look at that. So if you want like a desaturated version of that color, or if you want to change the color and you're in the same hue, then bam, you're staying within the value range, roughly. Isn't that beautiful? It's beautiful, man. And that's one of the many things I read about. So, I mean, that was the most noticeable one too. Just it was like, I was like, is that the cube? Is that the hue cube? And I freaked out. So, oh yeah, some other stuff. It keeps track of your previously used brushes, you know, and like whatever size they were. It's cool. What else? Oh yeah, your previously used swatches. Again, Photoshop is getting better every year. And I know some people who are still on CS6 or CS3. Yeah, CS6. Living in the past, CS6. What the hell? No, CS3 or even earlier than that. There's nothing wrong with that. You're just literally living in the past. And if you're okay with living in the past, then I'm not going to stop you. I'm not here to judge, but I'm here to tell you that you are wrong. Anyway, so let's get into this. Let's get into the topic at hand. Let's change the music. Let's change the music to topic talking music. Yeah? I got some topic talking music. Yeah? Sound good? I have no idea how it sounds to you guys. So he's kind of my beta tester. Can't hear anything, huh? Oh, that's a significant increase. And it should come. It's like a 20-second delay. I'm so sorry that you guys had to watch me watch him watch you.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Okay. All right. So let's get to the brass tacks on this stuff. All right, let me make a. All right. So, how do you promote your art? Right? That is the question at hand. How do you promote your art? And the answer is easy. Easy answer. There's always easy answers to most things. I found that answers are typically easier or easy when you find out what they are and you realize, oh, I knew that, but I just don't want to do it. Because you were trying to always find the opposite. You're always trying to find the easy way out. And typically the easy way out is usually the hardest. And the hardest things to do are worth their effort in gold. So, how do you promote your artwork? Well, there's one place you can do it, which is your website. Right? Of course. Everybody knows that. You have a website, portfolio. Right? You put it on your website. There you go. I'm promoting my work. It's out there for people to see it. Now, the problem with that is the internet's a big place, and not everybody's going to be able to access your website / portfolio easily. Not because they don't want to, because they don't know where the hell it's at. And so, the next answer, or at least the next step, would be social media. Okay, so check it out. We live in a time where, the world is a very big place, and this is our world. You can tell by my awesome geography. That's Hawaii. It's to scale. You can tell that the world is a big place, but the internet, what the World Wide Web has done for us, World Wide Web, whatever that looks like. I don't know what the icon for that is. The www, the internet, has basically given us access to this big old world, and given us platforms to access the big world. Stuff like Facebook. Alright? Did I put like 3 notches in that K? Facebook. Twitter. Instagram. Etc.
A lot of people are not getting the audio. I'm sure what's up.
Oh, are they not?
I can hear you fine, but
Maybe it's you, not me.
it's like 3 of them.
Yeah, maybe it's you guys. Don't derail this. Don't you derail this because you have bad audio equipment. Yeah, I don't know. It looks good on my end too, and it looks good on yours. Is everyone else fine?
Snap.
If everyone else is fine, if majority rules in this is a democracy. So if you have issues with your audio, you need to call your internet connection provider or whatever and be like, I'm trying to listen to Anthony Jones' stream right now, and I can't hear it. You come to my house right now and you fix this problem. Because Anthony Jones does not want to fix this problem. No, I wish I could. I'm doing everything. This is whatever it is. This is what it's at. Everyone else is fine?
Good.
You guys just derailed it. Alright guys, thanks for the live stream. I'm out of here. So social media. Social media is a great platform to getting your stuff out there. Right? And see, what happens is that people treat their Facebook, their Twitter, their Instagram as great personal usage devices. I'm sorry. They basically go out there and talk to their friends, talk to some people that they might not know, do some basic networking here and there. But what I found is that these 3 things or more, there's plenty of other places that you can go, are actually almost, no, not even almost, they are better than your portfolio website. And what I mean by that is that what I have done, specifically my Facebook, although I have friends and family on there that I also like to pay attention to, I use my Facebook as my website, as my portfolio, where I put images of things that I have done and articles that I have written and things that I think are cool, including videos or whatever. I literally use Facebook to not only reach my fans, but to promote my artwork. And I post often, as most of you guys know. There was a time where I took a kind of a hiatus because I was crazy busy. But now that the thing that was preventing me from to go back to Facebook is kind of in motion, I can now go back to reaching my fans, talking to people that care about my work. Because And all in all, I care about you guys a lot. And you guys' feedback means a lot to me. So, Facebook and all this great stuff that I have set up is for portfolio use. Now, why would I use my Facebook as a website / portfolio? Like, you don't even know I used to use robotpencil.org, but now I use my visual Tumblr, visualengineer.tumblr.com. The reason why I have decided to switch out of Blogspot and started using my Tumblr and using Facebook pretty much full time as my portfolio site is because everybody has a Facebook and lots of people have a Tumblr, right? Not everybody has a blog. Not everybody is like trafficking through the Blogspot. And only other artists are really looking for my work. But it's not so much that I don't want to reach out to people that already know who I am and, already kind of follow my work. I'm trying to reach out to people that may have interest in my work, whether they're an artist or not. Because these people are just as important to me because they start to show me value in my work that I might have not seen. Like, I like to use Facebook not only as a great tool to promote my work, but as a great tool to see how my work is to the general masses. And this is why I think you guys should stop using your Facebooks, to talk about your dinners and your lunches and all that stuff. Because not too many people care about that. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't really care about that. I see people I see my friends, some of my best friends, people that I've known forever. They post they post a little rant about their day and how this and that. And I don't feel like that's the place to do that. I think having a phone conversation with your friend is a better place because you're avoiding this kind of weird generalization of where people are going to join that rant and either be a crazy troll or crazy positive towards it, and it's really hard to judge that, right? So it's not even a very valuable tool. It's just like a place where you would try to look for validation, but you might end up going into a spiral of devastation. And so it's a terrible place to kind of write stuff like that. I try to stay super positive all the time because nothing you can say or do can derail positivity, right? If a negative person comes at me and I come back at them positive, and they come back more negative, it starts to flip on them. You know what I mean? And eventually I just stop replying to that kind of stuff. But I'm going on a tangent. My point is, Facebook is great because if you use it as your website, not as Facebook, but you use it as a place where you can go promote your work, talk about art, talk about things that people actually care about. Not about things that you particularly think are really important, should change the world, but you think what other people really should hear, or what people really need to know. That kind of stuff is very valuable, and it's valuable to other people, and other people respect that. Like, I posted an article about how much people should be paid, right? And now I'm going to work on actually the little JPEG that people can kind of use, as a chart. But my point is that a lot of people had no idea what they should be charging. A lot of people didn't even realize that drawing, as fun as it may be, it's still time that you're using. And that was a very important article. That's the kind of stuff that I think is important to write and talk about. And try to be objective too, and try to have a lesson learned kind of thing out of it. Because what happens is that people are going to read it, and you need to try to make sure that when people read it, that there's something to be learned. And if there isn't something to be learned, at least it doesn't say anything tremendously negative towards any which way. Because again, if you're going to use this as your portfolio website, then you need to stay kind of neutral as much as possible. But at the same time, promote a lot of good feedback. And so I like to use Facebook for that, and I like to use my Tumblr for that because I can see people can comment on my stuff, and I can see it. I can see it on my phone. I get messages from that. Facebook specifically, people can message me on Facebook, and a lot of people here have messaged me on Facebook, and they can vouch for me that I have gotten back to most of you guys in a short amount of time because it's Facebook. I check my Facebook all the time, not because I'm looking for the kitten video. It's because I'm seeing what people are posting, because I have a lot of people that I'm following and people that I'm friends with that are also amazing artists. And they're talking about really cool stuff, and they're showing next gen stuff that I have no idea. It's almost my news source too. It starts to become a valuable asset versus this kind of time wasting thing. that you normally associate Facebook with. It starts to become an actual tool. And that's why I love using Facebook as my real portfolio, my real website. And here's another thing. So I like to post a picture or a painting, and I'll post one painting, and people will either like it or dislike it, right? Well, they can't dislike it, but I count not liking it as, meh, it's okay, right? And then comments, too, I always love to read. And I want people to know that I read them by liking their comments, just so they know that I read your comment, but I might not respond to it, just because it's probably something really nice, like, oh, cool, you know. And I mean, how do I respond back to that? Thanks and cool. Like, no, I just wait till there's enough, and then I say, oh, thank you guys. And if there's a specific question or comment in the comments, then I will address that specific person. But generally, I try to keep it pretty neutral. But here's the thing that I like to tell people whenever they use Facebook. I say, look at the likes. It's a way to criticize your work without necessarily having someone say it's bad or good or whatever. You're using statistics to now judge your work's quality. And I like to look at other artists and like see how, like, why did this picture get so many likes versus this picture? And what that does for me as an artist, it starts to kind of wheel in the things that I like to do that other people also really like to see. So think about that for a second. It's not so much the things that I'm not trying to necessarily massage it this way or that way. I'm just more about, like, I'm already liking the images that I put up. Like, I draw it, I'm like, hey, this is pretty cool, I'm going to put it up. But I'm looking at the likes and I'm saying, this image got X amount of likes, or this image got X amount of likes. Why do people like this image way more than this image? This image only got X amount of likes, and this one got this much more. And I'm like, I need to do more of that because people like to see that. And hey, I like to draw it, so there's no foul, right? I'm just trying to help people see and get stuff that they want to see and like be a part of. And it's a community thing, right? Like, it's a great way of having positive feedback critique your work, and that's a great morale booster. Because most people generally aren't super negative when they critique or post likes on your work. They just say whether it's good or not by just saying it's good and giving you likes. And it's a great way to not get bombarded with constant negativity, but also be able to gauge kind of like, what can I do to improve my work? So Facebook's great for that. A lot of people generally don't troll other artists as often as you may think. Unless you do something really awful, but that's just obvious. So Facebook, this is probably, from experience, is one of the greatest tools you can use as an artist to get your work seen by many people, especially if it's really good. If it's really good, people will share it, people will like it, and it will just roll out of your control. You will not be able to control how many people will like your work, and that's a great thing for you as an artist, because what happens is now people are starting to attach artwork to a name. Whenever I see something really amazing from another artist, and I look at this amazing painting and I'm like, it's only got like 20 likes, so there's only really one real suspect. That person may have very few people following them or know about them. So what I do, I share it, and as soon as I share it, it goes crazy, because I have a lot of followers, and I'm like, I want this person to be known because they're really good, and I'm not afraid of sharing other people's artists because of competition or something weird like that. Competition's good. I want people to know that there's people better than me. I want artists to know, because then that puts me in a position to say, well, that person exists, I better get better, you know? And I'm letting other people know they exist. It's not a bad thing, especially if you're someone like me who looks at other really great art and be like, I need to move faster and be better. And it's something that I think is why I have such a loyal and such a huge fan base. It's because I'm very open about the way that I do things, and I'm very, I try to be nice to as many people that run into me in person and run into me via webs. Just because, here's the facts. You guys support me. You guys appreciate my comments and my posts. You guys have shown me that you really care and the things that I do is important to you, and so therefore you treat me as if I'm important, and that means a lot to me. And so why I feel like I need to give back as much as possible at a reasonable pace, because of course I do have a family, and I have a life, but that's no excuse to not make some time to reach out to people that may never really have a chance to meet me in person or be able to learn from me in person or any of that kind of stuff. So, social media. And there's so many ways you can go about it. You can go about it through Twitter. Twitter's a great way to just do a post here and there. Instagram is specifically another great way to do that. But Facebook, for me, I feel like has all the tools you need, from posting images, posting videos, commenting on people, getting messages from people, and the ability to follow other artists is just a great thing. And there's groups out there that you can join to learn how to become better. It's just, I don't know, it just seems like the thing to do. And so, with that being said, how else can you promote your work? What are the things that you should try to do in your work to promote it? Like, what should be the stuff you should strive for in your work, in your art? For one, you should recognize whether it's good or not. Good or not. Not if it's a success story versus not a success story. What does that mean? Success story versus not success story. Well, that's confusing. Double slashes. Okay, there you go. What does that mean? Good or not, or success or not success story? Whenever I see a lot of people paint, whenever my students paint, they send me an image or whatever, and they're like, hey, look at this painting I did, and I did X amount of stuff on it, and it's cool. And I look at it, and it's not that cool. And I'm like, oh man, there's so many mistakes. Like this, right? And to them, they're just kind of like, what did I do wrong? I did like so many things right. Like I learned how to paint flesh a little better. I was able to actually get the anatomy of the face a little good. The colors feel better, like better than what I'm used to seeing. The reality is that when you look at your work and you start to paint on it for a while, you start to forget that someone else is going to look at it. And when someone else is going to look at it, they don't see the work that you put behind it. I mean, they don't know how you felt as you were painting it. That's just something that you just got to accept. They're just not going to be able to be like, oh, I can tell that the way that he blended this, he succeeded. Unless they have been following your work. But other than that, like, there is going to be something about it that you may have learned. And that learning feels good. When you start to paint, you learn something from your painting. That's good. That feels good, and that makes you start to believe that your painting is good. But that's furthest from the truth. A good painting is a good painting, and you gotta start to acquire an eye for that. And one of the best ways is to get kind of feedback from your friends and all these other places, but also when you put it on Facebook. So when you think something is good, right, like this, and you post it, and then you post something that you think is not good, right? You're just like, I just did this, whatever, it's the same old. And then you post it, and you're just kind of like, whatever. And then when you do, people are like, oh, this one's so much better. Well, they don't say that, but they like it, and they start commenting on it, and they're like, oh, this is great. And then you're just like, what the hell happened? So you need to start to be able to realize, oh, you know what? Maybe it's because this guy is a bland-looking character. It's just a dude just standing there. With a blank expression or whatever, and there's nothing really interesting about his armor. He's just a naked dude with a loincloth. Where this guy, he's turned, but not only is he turned, he's got a mohawk, right? He's got a mohawk on, and he's got a cool looking shoulder pad with a dragon design on it. That one's good because there's a little bit more theme to it. There's a little bit more quality somewhere in there, and a little bit more storytelling. Storytelling goes a long way. One thing that I noticed when I posted one of these ZBrush paintings, I had a painting or a concept where there was a chick just walking, and in the background was a little kid looking at her. People love that one. And I was like, I think it's because there's a little kid in it. I don't think it's because, I thought it was one of the worst ones. I was like, this is alright. But I think people are going to like it because there's a kid in there. And sure enough, people did like it. And I think it was because of the kid. Someone even commented, he's like, that kid though, or something like that. And what I'm getting at is that's something that you need to start to be observant of. And so when you start to promote yourself, you need to start to kind of get better at understanding what's good and what's not. And if you don't, it's okay. You can use Facebook and social media as a great tool to kind of start to gauge that. Post often, right? That's another problem that a lot of people don't do. Post often and consistently. Consistent? No. Consistently? Spell check that? Yeah, oh, there it is. Consistent.
S-I-S.
S-I-S. Consistently. Whew! Spell check. O-P. Post often and consistently. When you do that, you're giving enough time for people to kind of see that you're a dude, you're an artist, you're a chick, you're something. If you post like once every full moon, like, you know, people are gonna forget you. Unless the time that you do post, it's like freaking crazy. But I don't mean post like every freaking second. I mean post like maybe once, maybe twice, maybe at most 3 times a day. And if you're gonna post artwork, I would say maybe just 1 or 2 pieces of artwork a day. You know, just let people digest one piece of good work that you've done, or bad work, whatever, and then do the next one next day. And what that does is it forces you to work. And that's another thing. Like, this posting often and consistently gives you a schedule. It gives you a schedule to provide content on a regular basis. And that regular basis content will get better because you're practicing. You have a sense of deadline. You have a sense of urgency. And that sense of urgency is going to make you work a little bit harder than if you didn't have that, right? And that's something that I truly believe is a great thing about using Facebook, or something that people are going to see it. You know people are going to come by and check it out. And another thing about Facebook is that you should totally abandon what Facebook is, in the sense of, you know, social media, in the sense of like between a few people. You should think of it as a broader thing, that it's not about talking with your friends. It should be about talking with people you don't know and probably will never meet in person, and trying to get a hold of those types of people that have similar interests and similar, you know, hobbies and so forth, so that way you guys can have a dialogue that's interesting and valuable. If you use it as a personal thing, I find that stuff like people will send me Facebook invites, and if I don't accept it or whatever, they're like, "Why didn't you come to my party, dude?" And I was like, "What? I don't get my Facebook invites." And vice versa. I was like, I don't do it, and I thought, well, you know, my friends use it, so they might come to my thing. So I invited people to my 30th birthday party, and nobody came. Like, I had to like call people, and so it's like Facebook it's not a very good tool. I mean, I'm sure some people are out there that use it and it really works, but for that kind of stuff, like for setting up like a small birthday party or whatever. But I found that it's better just to call people or text people, you know, that are close to you, because it's just, you have access to them via phone, so why not, right? And so that aspect could be dealt with on a different platform, a more personal platform. Like, I call my friends, I text my friends. I don't really Facebook message them, or I don't leave Facebook comments or anything, other things very often. I don't do that because it's just, I'd rather just call them, you know? So what do I use Facebook for? Like I said, pretty much my website and portfolio. I accept all friendships. Anyone who sends me a friend request that looks or feels like an artist, I say yes, let's be friends. And I've done it to the point where I can't add any more people. And then I let people subscribe. I let the public look at my Facebook, because like I said earlier, I don't post weird stuff or like some like career jeopardizing stuff. I'm just writing what I think is interesting. I post about things that I think are interesting, stuff that are industry based, and I post my own work. That's it. And people message me who I've never met from different countries, and I say, "What up, dude? Let's hang out." You know, and we talk, and they have questions. I try to answer them. My point is that Facebook is I feel like it's a waste of time if you're not using it in the right way. For me, it's absolutely a career building tool. I don't use it for anything else, and you guys shouldn't either. I mean, think about what Facebook really is to you and how you use it, and you might start to really seriously consider, like, I do waste all my day on Facebook for no reason, right? It's like I said in the very beginning. The answer is easy, but the reasons for it, like, once I tell you why it's easy, then you start to realize, I just don't want to do that, though. I want to keep looking at cat photos. I want to keep watching those Call of Duties. So that's kind of like, in a nutshell, how you can promote your work. And one thing that I want to make sure that you guys do as well is understand that there's no real right or wrong way either. This is something that I've used, and it's really useful. And I've had some friends, they asked me, like, hey, how did you get so many people to follow you or whatever? And I said it's very simple. I try to be super genuine. I don't respond to negative comments, and I only use my Facebook for most of the time, like 90% of the time, to just post stuff that are related to the entertainment industry and my artwork. That's it. And then I accept most people's friendships. I look at the mutual friends. There comes a point when you're in like the thousands of friends where you can see, like, if this person has like hundreds of mutual friends, then they're probably an artist. Just by that statistic alone, you can rely, like, oh, they have 100 mutual friends, they're probably an artist. I'm just going to blindly accept their friendship. Well, they wanted to follow you, they wanted to be your friend for some reason, so you might as well kind of give them a reason to do so. Anyway, it's pretty simple. Yeah? Website, portfolio, social media, Facebook. Okay. And so, with that being said, I think some people already blasted me on my phone. Yeah, some people are messaging me already. If you message me and you're in my live stream, shame on you. You can see that I'm working. How dare you? Come to my realm. You are not prepared. So let's do this, guys. Let's take like a 5-10 minute break. Yeah. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna bump this music up more for you guys, and we'll go back to the dubstep hysteria. Or no, we'll do some epic. We'll do some epic music. Here we go. Hold on. That's not necessarily epic music. I apologize. This should be a little bit more epic. All right. Anyways, I'm gonna leave this up, so we'll be back in about 5-10 minutes. Oh, someone just messaged me. Oh, now everyone's gonna message me. Oh man. All right. Anyways, we're gonna take a 10-minute break, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay? So we'll be right back. I'm gonna get some water. Maybe not 10 minutes. Maybe a little bit shorter. It all depends on how I feel. I need to take a break though. My brain's about to explode. I can feel it. Epic.
When it's time to party, we will party hard.
Let's get back into this. Sorry about that. Oh, hold on. Be right back. Alright. I am back. So let us do this. Okay. So, this last section of the stream is going to be mostly Q&A, aside from all that fun dancing and stuff. I'm going to save this PSD, desktop, PSD, saving. So anyone who's ever purchased anything from any Gumroad I have done in the past will get that PSD and some bonus. What? Bonus? Yes. All my Gumroad peeps, you're my blood. Let's do this. Anyways, this is mostly going to be. Let's try the